Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to our interview with the new light welterweight Fighters Rep West Coast champion, Aaron Hot Water Fausett. Champ, how are you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Man, I'm excited. It's like this was a big thing for me, and we accomplished it, and we're ready to move on now. Yes,
I
sir.
love it, man. I love it. You mentioned you had a long day. Kind of tell me what was going on today. Were you training? Were you teaching classes? What was going
Yeah,
on today?
a bit of both. A normal day for me is like everything's Muay Thai for me. So it's
Yeah,
either I'm teaching either private lessons or classes or kids classes here and there, or I'm training. So today was a lot of training. Clients in the morning, and then about 3 hours of training. Came home, took a nap, and then I'm doing this interview with you, and then I'm gonna clock back in at the gym probably around 8:30, and get back to work for a bit.
I see your audio kind of changed right there. Did something happen?
Lost you. Let me turn this off real quick. There we
There
go.
we go. That's a bit better. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
perfect. Yeah, I was trying
Okay.
to
Oh,
connect to something else.
no, it's good. So you had a busy day. You told me you took a nap. So I mean, you trained for this fight.
Yes.
You became our champ, and it's kind of like right back to it, man. No break, huh?
Yeah. Nah, man. So like this was something that I told you before that I really wanted to win this belt for the reason that I want to defend things. I want to fight. I want 5 round fights, and I
Yeah.
want the best to come at me, because this game this game is really tough. It's there's I know that on the road to being the best out there, I have to fight the best out there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I want to see all those challenges. If this
Yeah.
is this guy a big puncher? Is this guy a big kicker? Is this guy explosive? Is this guy confident? It gives you different things to look forward to, different challenges to be like, oh, this is different.
For sure. Aaron, I wanted to ask you before we really get into the fight and everything else. I mean,
Yes, sir.
the amazing performance and everything. What kind of got you into the whole fight thing? Like I don't think anyone at Knucklehead Nation really has delved deep in your career and really been allowed to get to know you well. Like what got you into the whole fight thing to begin with?
Right. So it's really Jason, ridiculous Andrada. I started doing Muay Thai, kind of as like a fitness thing. I was like, I also wanted to learn how to defend myself. I was like, it'd be pretty cool to know how to fight, but more for fitness, right? And probably 3-4 months in, Jason's like, hey, you're gonna fight. So he signed me and one of my teammates up for our first fight together. And from there, I remember my first fight. I never thought I could do something like that.
Yeah.
And from there, I was like, I gotta run with this. So I literally, after my second, I had one more fight before I quit like my regular job. I was like, no, I'm gonna dive in. There's no plan B. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
when was this? When did this happen?
So my first fight, crazy enough, my first fight was March 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, I've amassed, between point, they have the smoker fights, the point fights, but my
Yeah.
sanctioned record is, I think I am 16-6 now. You know,
Wow.
so and amongst 3.5 years of actively competing, we've definitely made some noise for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So, you're one of the few teams that we're working with from Vegas, and I want to say I appreciate you guys even, making the drive out,
Yeah,
and being a part of this thing, man. But you mentioned before you're a Muay Thai guy, you're a Muay
right.
Thai guy, and I believe you've already won a title in Muay Thai, am I right?
Yeah, no, won about 4 titles in Muay Thai, and this was a big one for me too, because I was like, I want to show that, like, I know I can clinch, I know I can elbow, I'm pretty mean at it, but I was like, I really want to show like that I have a really wider skill set than that. It makes me focus on different skills and kind of
Yeah.
just become a better fighter.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So you drove out from Vegas every time,
Yep.
and you're in hostile territory,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like the first time we saw you, it was versus Hamza, right? Was it
It
versus
was
Hamza?
correct. Yes, sir.
Of course, he's our welterweight champ, and he's probably going to be going pro soon. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I think he's one of the best fighters. Just
No.
period, right? Yeah, just in MMA, kickboxing, whatever it is. And he
Yeah.
kind of started his career with us. So I'm very proud of him.
That's
But I
awesome.
remember that fight. I remember you coming out. You were very seasoned, coming out from Vegas. I said, man, this guy's got balls coming out here from Vegas in front of all
Yeah.
these Los Angeles people. It's hostile territory. I mean, tell me what you feel when you come into the Lions Den, because you do have support that comes out from Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can you see how it could kind of be like nerve-wracking to step in there?
So,
Was it nerve-wracking for you?
So with Hamza, it was the first time I was going out to fight him. It was, I think for me, it was just different because like everyone that was kind of scared or that had fought had been scared, right? And there's not really any man that's gonna scare me, um, you know. So and he's a great fighter, and I wish that we could have the opportunity to run that back one day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's gotten his route, his journey, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I honestly kind of embrace the feeling of like going into hostile territory. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna take over the show, and they're gonna remember me when it's over. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a motivation for me. Is I'm like, your fans, I'm like, they're gonna root for you, but they're gonna be cheering for me when we're done. I'm gonna win the heart of the crowd.
I love that, man. I love that mentality. You need that mentality because, I mean, not to kind of toot our own horn, but the crowd continues to grow and the crowd is getting big, and
bigger for sure, and the comments are getting more, and everything is growing for sure.
Yeah. The audience, the social media, you guys are getting some attention. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
well, I mean, since we touched on the Hamza fight, I wanted to say, I kind of want to walk through the trajectory of, how we, or the journey of how we kind of met you and how you came here.
Yeah.
So, and became our champ now. So, it was Hamza first. That Hamza fight, again, I've always thought he's one of the best fighters, period. Just
Right.
probably a lot of people think he is the best in the community, like in the area, in the region. And, I remember the first round, he came out very strong.
Yeah.
But you were kind of weathering the storm, fighting back, weathering the storm. Second round, kind of the same.
Yeah.
But I felt like he was starting to slow down.
Right. And that was for that fight. That was our game plan. Is I knew that he was gonna, like, I'd seen his fights. I knew he was gonna come out hot, and I knew he was a confident striker. And I was like, what is a confident striker? He's gonna try to put me away quick. Right.
Yeah.
First few rounds, they were all about me making him tired because he was, throwing spinning heel kicks and 6-punch combinations, and and I was absorbing shelling, like not letting it do much to me, and I was getting my leg kicks in there. And my game plan, me and Jason, was to really pick up heat rounds 4 and 5, and then I fucked up my hip in round 4, so that was a little unfortunate, and that's why I was like, man, I really wish I wish this fight could have kept going, but yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. So, like, nobody had really survived him, right? And I noticed him, it's something he'll need to work on as he goes forward, is his cardio going forward, because he expends so much energy at the beginning.
Crazy.
He's got to, he's got to find a way to maintain that. Otherwise, and that's why I think you were such a good experience for him, and good experience for each other, is because you're one of those guys that's a very rare kind of human being, right? Where you get stronger, in my opinion, as the fight continues, or maybe you're just able to maintain so well, it looks like you're getting stronger compared to your opponents. And that's what I was noticing in the Hamza fight. I mean, I was like, my goodness, this hot water kid he's just coming on. He's coming on. And then you got hurt. And I was like, what a shame, like it was a real shame. Like we didn't get to see that fight really play out,
go to the game plan for sure. And that's always something that I pride myself on to a different level is one, I'm constantly training and seeing stuff. So I like to think my reflexes are pretty quick, but my cardio is something that I really pride myself on. And that's something that has been such a confidence builder for me in fighting is that I don't want to go into a fight. I don't want to be sitting backstage before we fight and be like, oh man, I should have ran a little bit more. If I would have done those sprints last week, we'd have been doing better. Like, nah, I want to be every stone turned over. Like, I did this. I ran my miles. I did my ice bath. I did my pad rounds, so I like to be, make sure that I put in my work, so I'm confident when I get in there.
Yeah. And by the way, Vegas representing, says Isaac McCary, hot water.
Vegas
My boy Aaron. My boy Aaron hit him everything, even the prajans, and that Muay Thai face.
Yes, sir. That was funny, man. They were sliding, and I saw some people commenting about it, and I was like, it was annoying that it happened. It's the only time it's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
But
looks like we're losing Aaron a little bit here. I'm sure he'll snap back into place in a second. Aaron, we lost you. Aaron, we lost you for about a minute. I'm sorry. After you mentioned after you mentioned them sliding down a bit, go ahead and continue from there.
Yeah, no, I was saying, so I was like, I saw some comments about it, and it was unfortunate that they were sliding, but I will say, people are wondering, like, is he slapping him with something? Like, it feels like you're getting hit with, like, like a feather duster, right? So it's not like his eyes are getting whipped with leather or something like that.
No, I mean, we don't. Yeah, we definitely don't think that's why you won the fight, but
I don't think so. I just wanted to clear. I saw.
Yeah. But definitely, I would even suggest maybe get them. Maybe don't wear them or make sure they don't slide down because these referees might jump in and cause problems.
I agree with that for sure. I agree.
But so that Hamzat fight, really opened up my eyes to you. I thought you did a good job. I do appreciate you, trying to sell tickets as well, coming out from Vegas. I mean, I do say this to all the fighters. If you guys can't, try to get 20, 30 tickets off, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because at the end of the day, it's also business. You guys got to put butts in seats, and this will help you get that experience. Just like you're getting fight experience, you got to get that sales experience so that you can get sponsors, you can get onto a huge promotion maybe one day, maybe get onto ours as it becomes larger, you know what I mean? I think it's very helpful. But, I appreciated your professionalism. I saw you getting stronger in that fight. I said, man, we got to have this guy back. And then we matched you a few months later. I think the next show you couldn't make it. You were still hurt. You were still recovering.
Yeah, I think there was something I was, figuring details out. And then I was like, I got everything ironed out. I think this was fight number 8 just since January this year for me. So, outside of even just the Lions, then, I've been active. I wanted to fight, losing definitely lights a fire under my ass. I would say that I'll never say like, oh man, I wish I didn't lose. I'm like, nah, now get ready for what's next,
Right. Well, then, so then we eventually got you back.
Yeah.
And you fought Ignacio Espinosa, very tough guy, at Manny Mancha's gym.
Yep.
You really got thrown into the deep end, man, because of your performance with Hamzat. We said, man, this kid is seasoned.
Right.
Obviously, your record as well. We thought Ignacio would be a great fight. It ended up being a great fight. You ended up getting a win there.
Right.
And then we were like, man, this kid's solid. We found out about Evan. He was available. Yep. Solid opponent as well. He'd never fought for us before.
Right.
But we knew a lot about him. We worked with his team a lot. We said, let's make this fight. Kind of take me through, your thoughts when, you were offered the title fight against Evan and take me through that camp and the whole fight and all of it, if you don't mind.
So it was kind of fun. So the part of the camp, it was kind of twofold. So I had 2 fights that I kind of classify as one camp for this last couple of months. So I had a fight in Canada in May 17th. That was the main event in Canada. Got that win.
Nice.
Came back home. and I was feeling great still. Leg was a little touched up, but whatever. You
Yeah.
know, right back to work. So my biggest game plan for this fight was volume punching. Right? Is I was like. I know I can absolutely shock people with power sometimes, but I'm like, that's not my style. I'm like, my style is like, I want you to stay drowning. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
pace that not many people are able to stay with. But not only are they not able to stay with it, it's okay. Like, are you putting yourself in these uncomfortable situations in training? Are you putting your mind in the most uncomfortable spots that when we're fighting? I'm not the one testing that for the first time.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I told Gary in the post fight, ignorant behavior that we do the post fight with. I mean, that pace was that's a vicious pace you put on people.
Yes, sir. And
I mean, you said you pride yourself in cardio. You're trying to make people feel uncomfortable. I mean, is that kind of your style? Just a pressure fighter that just breaks
yeah,
people?
yeah. So Jason, so my coach, obviously Jason Andrada, he was known as a very like walk you down type of fighter, and so me and him have kind of adapted his style into a style that we're like, okay, let's be aggressive, but we're not going to do it and like we have to walk you down. I like to hunt you from the perimeter almost, and find my angles, bop 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 bop, kind of come in,
Jeez.
work, and then kind of get back out and move and make you kind of uncomfortable again, and not just let you hit me back. Because if I hit you and then you hit me back, the judges are, it's a pretty even exchange. So I like to hit, not be there, and then hit again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a walking a guy down, but it's like a bouncing around walking a guy down. It's just
Right.
nonstop movement,
Yes.
and I just don't know how you keep it up, man. Like, how do you keep that up?
Right. Like those are my sparring rounds. Those are my sparring rounds look like that. I'm moving, I'm bouncing, I'm in there, I'm mixing in head kicks from weird angles. My runs, I mix up my running. It's three days of 6 mile runs, and then 3 days
Yeah,
sprints, and then my strength training. So like when I go in there, I'm like, I'm so damn confident. Like I told Jason after the fight, I was like, I'm ready. I was really looking forward to these next 2 rounds. I was like, because my car
wow, man.
great. I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, because another thing is like with kickboxing, like this guy can't clinch me really. Like he can clinch me a little bit, but he can't really stall. So
Jesus
he doesn't
Christ.
get to wear me out either. So that was something that excites me. I'm like, there's gonna be action. And
Yeah,
we talked about it before. You're like, there's a 50% knockout rate in the Lions Den, and I'm like,
it was higher at the last show too,
I
which is
had
scary.
it had to have been. It was crazy.
Dude, by the time the sixth fight came around, we had 5 stoppages. I was just like, "What is happening tonight?" You
Yeah,
know?
and I was like, nobody's checking kicks, nobody's blocking their heads, it's getting crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just kind of, I wanted to get you on here. Obviously, we want to interview all the champs now, and congrats again on becoming, Fighters Rep champ. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but that pace was just, I just had to ask you about that because that might be the craziest pace I've seen at Fighters. That might be the craziest pace I've ever seen.
Right,
And we've got guys like Jason Granado, we've got guys like Isaac De La Paz, Caleb Salazar. You saw them throw down at the last event, which was
right.
crazy fight.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but I'm seeing those guys. It's more like a walk you down, a little bit of movement, but mostly like walk you down and just go, go, go and get you out of
Right.
there. Yours is like jumping and shifting angles and shifting
Yeah.
your feet and your stance. I'm just like,
One of
how's he doing this, dude?
the things I like to think about when I'm there is I'm like, we're fighting, right? But my goal is not for you not to hit me. Like
Yeah,
I would prefer if we go into a fight, like cool. I'd love to have some wars, but like it all said and done, if I can beat you without taking much damage, I would rather that happen. So like when I think about fighting, like I really am thinking about like every time you fight, there's an exit strategy. Are you
yeah,
clinching
yeah,
up? Are you leaving? Are you like what's the probability that in your position is he going to throw a right hand, a left hand, a head kick? So
yeah,
just playing that almost like probability game a lot of times too. You know,
yeah.
it, it makes you look cooler sometimes.
I hear you.
He's got to throw a kick. You know.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, if you're just joining us, Be sure to like, comment, subscribe on this. Join the channel to help us continue to grow, and follow the new Fighters Rep Light Welterweight champion on the West Coast,
Yes, sir.
Aaron Hot Water Fausett at Aaron Fausett 231 on Instagram. Follow the champ's journey. He's fantastic. If you want to sponsor a fighter, he's definitely a guy you should consider. Or if you want to sponsor us, we're happy to share some with him. Drop a super chat, whatever it is. Support these young fighters, and joining the channel is one of the best ways to do so, but also reaching out to them directly. Aaron, you kept coming back, man. You kept coming back to fight at Fighters Rep, and third time was a charm. You snatched the title. I felt like you earned it. But before, I ask you about that fight, we really delve into it. Why did you keep coming back to Fighters Rep, and why kickbox? I mean, you're a Muay Thai fighter. Why'd you want to do this?
So the first time that I fought on Fighters Rep, when you guys offered me the Hamza fight as a title, I was like, oh my God, this is cool. Like Fighters Rep's a pretty big show, like a really big show for United States fighters. It's a big following. They put on a really cool show. Like I've not been a part of as many shows cooler, So when that title kind of like, it felt like it escaped from me, right? It felt like it like grew legs and ran away from me. And it kind of like haunted me a little bit, Like I would hear you guys' shows again, and I would see a guy win a title, and I'm like, that should be mine, I'm like that's mine, So I was like, okay, I'm gonna fight again, and I was like, I'm gonna put on a good show, and I'm gonna show everyone that I want to be back here again, So I fought Ignacio. I was gonna prove a point. I went into that fight confident. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys like hot water in this area, and then.
Yeah.
I came back again. I was like, there's no way this title's escaping me again. I'm like, it got away once, like it's not possible twice.
Yeah. Shout out to Isaac. Says George trying to hold in the smile. But yeah, shout out to Fighters Rep for putting on badass shows. Y'all do the damn thing. Thank you so much, Isaac. I really appreciate you guys. It's we got a lot of compliments lately, man, and I got to show some gratitude to everybody that's been complimenting the show. I'm glad you guys like it. I'm always trying to make it better, just like you guys are going back to the lab and getting better. I'm trying to do the same for you guys. So let me ask you about the fight, man. Evan Ortiz, the fight. Like, did it go the way you thought it would go? Like how did it go for you? What did you think about the fight?
So the only thing that threw me a little bit off is I thought he was going to kick more. I don't know if I gave him time to kick as much as he was planning to. He's a real tall, like I'm tall for my weight class, and he was too taller than me. So I'm like, I was expecting a lot of kicks. I didn't think he was going to be able to keep up with me hand speed wise. So I was expecting him to supplement the hand speed with trying to work on the longer range kicks, but he wasn't really able to find them. I also have I have a quick way of closing distance. So if you're not ridiculously taller than me, you're not gonna feel like you're that much height on me when we fight.
I see. He seemed awkward, and he was bigger than you, which I was surprised. He was like a touch taller than you as well,
Yeah, no, he had an awkward style for sure. I knew going in that he was gonna have like he's gonna throw punches that were gonna look weird that I probably hadn't seen before. And I think that was also weird that I had never seen is the way he threw his right knee. He threw the knee twice in the first round, and it didn't really hurt, but I was like, it could hurt if I don't do something about this. So kind of almost like curled up his body like a cannonball almost, and like came forward with it.
Yeah,
that was different for me. But other than that, I was like, it took me like, I would say like 30-40 seconds to figure him out. And then once I figured him out, I was like, I got him.
Yeah, no, it just seemed that, the pace over the course of the rounds, and you landing shots and just seemed to be breaking him down slowly. And then, and then the doctors, I guess, stopped it because of his shin busted open.
Yeah.
In the fight. I mean, did you notice when that happened, or you weren't?
No, when they brought him back again, I thought they were checking his head again because he had that cut on his head. So I figured when they pulled him back, I was like, okay, they're probably checking to see if the cut's okay on his head. I hadn't even noticed the shin. But we're both, I have really hard shins, and we're both really bony guys to begin with for the weight class. So I'm like, your conditioning's definitely going to show in the shins when we clash for sure.
Yeah. Well, man, you went in there, you got it done. TKO, basically doctor stoppage. They stopped the fight. But I mean, you were very overwhelming. You looked very good in there, man. You look just very, very hard to beat. I was saying, like, somebody's got to come out there if they're going to fight you and earn your respect early by hitting you with something really hard or doing something, because I just don't see too many people being able to outlast you in there, Aaron.
Yeah, no, so that's a big thing you say about the respect thing, is that you do have to earn my respect quick, but even if you do hit me with something, it's hard to make me hesitant, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I have so many answers for things. And even if I don't have an answer, right, I'm a little bit crazy, like, so I have a little bit of that nuts mentality that I think you have to have as a fighter, that I'm like, okay, you hit me with something, okay, now watch me, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's also is that I get hit with something in a fight, I'm like, I want to steal back the heart of the crowd, make them forget that he just landed something cool.
Yeah. So, you put on a great performance, man. You take home the belt back to Vegas. How does it feel to how does it feel to be the Fighters Rep West Coast light welterweight champ and take it back to Vegas from LA, man?
And it feels huge. It's like sometimes it kind of feels like almost like we're like pirates. We go and because there's really no shows in Vegas. Isaac's in here, he knows about it. We have to go to all these different states, and it's always, oh, you're from Vegas. Oh, it's the Vegas kid. That's the guy from Vegas. So it's like, man, it's cool. And I think that me winning, and I know Ty and a couple other guys were fighting on the show. It definitely opens up just more fighters. For the West, it is the West Coast, West Coast. So we want to bring the best of the West Coast out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys are all definitely in that conversation. And gosh, man, I'm really glad we made the connection, and I hope we continue to work together. I mean, what's the trajectory for you, going forward? I mean, do you want to stick to Muay Thai? You want to keep doing kickboxing, MMA? I mean, what's going on with your career going forward?
Now there's no MMA talk. I'm a striker right now. It's kickboxing and Muay Thai. So I want to fight as often as I can kickboxing, Muay Thai, and I don't care which rule set it is, right? Like, obviously I am a Muay Thai guy, but I love kickboxing too. I like to fight, as long as we're not doing MMA, I'm not ready to get strangled on the ground, but
yeah. Are the Muay Thai, be honest, are the Muay Thai promotions as fun as Fighters Rep?
They're not, and I'll tell you that's one of the things. One of the big things is, like, when we walk out, you just know that it's a different show. Like, there's camera guys following you. Like, I remember, like, when you stand in the ring and you can't even see your opponent because you got, like, camera guys in there. Like, this is pretty cool, like, this is sick.
I'm glad to hear that, man. I mean, I like to mess with, the other combat sports. So that's kind of my shtick. MMA is boring, Muay Thai is boring. I mean, I respect them. I don't really mean that, but that's my little gag. So you got to give me something, Aaron. You got to give me something.
Yes, sir.
But you are liking the kickboxing rule set, like you.
And so before I had even done Fighters Rep, I had done probably 2 or 3 kickboxing fights outside of that as well. So I'd already somewhat gotten familiar with that rule set a little bit. So it was definitely it was definitely fun to do and be a part of, for sure.
Yeah. No, great job, man. And you come from a great gym as well. I mean, what was Coach Andrade's thoughts? I mean, the team seemed pretty excited, but I mean, what were your guys, thoughts taking that belt back to the desert?
So me and Jason, we have a very clocking in that we're another day in the office type of vibe when we go to fight. So we're very serious. We have a very, this is like, he's been in my corner 20 something times. I've never fought without Jason in my corner, so that says something for our relationship, for sure. But he pushes me to be way better than, like I tell, like, he makes me so uncomfortable in the gym and training and everything else. I'm like, there's nothing that you guys can do to break me at this point, But he was very, very happy with the way that we attacked our game plan. We followed the game plan. That's one of our things that we've been happy with, being able to lay out a game plan, and then that's great, but can we actually stick to it during a fight and come back to it? So we were really happy with that. And then Jason loves being a part of the shows, loves being part of everything. And, we're ready to defend that title, for sure.
He's a great, great coach and very easy to work with, man. And I really appreciate that,
For sure.
Yeah, you guys have been super, super professional, great to work with, and you're always welcome. If there's a cold water, a warm water, bring them out, man. We're down to work with them.
So we on the next show we're hoping to get bring another guy out with me. I'll come defend my title, and we'll have our guy make his Lions Den debut. He was actually in my corner. He was the third guy in my corner.
Oh, okay.
So and he has about 4 fights now, so I think he's ready to come show everyone what he's about too. Not hot water, but I'll be in the corner.
No, man. It sounds good. It sounds good. I appreciate you guys. I mean, you did a fantastic job. What was, what was the most difficult part of the fight for you, if any? If there's anything you could think of, what was the biggest challenge in that fight?
The weight cut.
I was going to ask you about that.
So, it just I think it's just because we fought so quick back to back that my you want to celebrate a little bit after you fight, and like I didn't really celebrate, but probably ate a little bit, just not like that's not really the eating that's the biggest problem. It's more of like your sodium intake, your fiber intake.
Right.
I think some of those just got a little bit fumbled, but I was like, there's no way in hell I'm not gonna make this weight. So I'm like, no matter how I feel tomorrow, I was like, we got this, And I ended up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So after we made the weight, I ended up having a great rehydration. I felt incredible. I didn't have any issues. I took my time, about 1.5 liters an hour, ate slowly, drank slowly. The next day, got everything back in. And then, FightersRep, we have. I didn't fight for at least 24 hours. So we have good timing to be healthy and hydrated for sure.
Yep. And that's what I want. That's why I do day before weigh-in. I don't want you guys in there struggling. And let me tell you, man, I mean, you had to go, you had to get in the sauna. Luckily the Commerce Casino, shout out to them. They've got a sauna, they've got everything that we need to help you guys get there. And you struggled to make the weight, like you said. Probably because of the back-to-back fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I got a couple things to say about that. So first and foremost, I heard you mention you had a good rehydration before, and I believe it, man. I mean, you were like the Terminator in there, man. I mean, it didn't look like. Were you tired at all in that fight?
No, I told Jason after. I was like, I'm not tired. I was like, I feel like I can keep going. I'm like, I was like, I'm not really breathing that heavy, and then. Plus that, and then doctor stoppage too, or while he's checking him, I'm just sitting there chilling, So I'm like, I'm ready, So.
It's uncanny. I mean, that's an uncanny cardio system you got in there, brother. Let me know where I can get one installed, because that's pretty crazy. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, you're such a. I mean, Evan is as well, but you're such a tall and long and wiry guy for 142 pounds. I feel like you can easily go up. You fought Hamza at 140, 145, 147.
47. Yeah, no, I accept fights at this point in my career. I accept fights anywhere from 42 to 47. So there's an opportunity anywhere in that weight class range, I'll take it. So if there's a fight at 47, I would take that. If once I defend this title, if Hamza fully is vacated that 47 title, you know where to find me. I'll be the first double champion fighters.
Wow. No, that's what I was going to ask about. I mean, if that's a goal of yours, then I can see that.
That'd be incredible. I think first we need to defend the 142 title. I'd love to. I know someone called me out. And I'd love to put a little hot water stamp on that.
Who was it? Let's share.
It was the winner of I don't know the name, the Thai Petralia. He fought the guy that he fought.
Oh, Edgar Fraga.
Little excitement for the world. We've been talking about. Hung was talking a little bit about what's making this fight happen. So, I'm ready,
That'd be a fun fight, man. That would be a fun fight.
That'd be fun. I watched him, and I think he's explosive. I think he's fun. I think it would be a good fight. I think one of the things that's really challenging with me is I'm really experienced. I've been there. So.
Yeah, you do have a lot of experience for sure. And it showed, man. It showed. again, I would love to have seen that Hamza fight play out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen in the amateurs. Maybe it happens in the pros one day. I
Right.
would love to make that fight.
Yes, sir.
Um, and Edgar's in here. He says, "I hit up Hung." I think that'd be a great fight, you guys.
Let's do
I think your pace, Edgar and his explosiveness and his pace. I mean, I think that'd
Yeah,
be a fight of the night candidate while it lasts. I don't know how long it would last, but it would be a fight of the night while it lasted.
barn burner for sure. And I have a lot of respect for their team, Classic Fight Team, and
Yep.
so it'd be like that's one of the other things that I really like about fighting is like I like to go in like obviously I'm fighting, like in this case I'd be fighting Edgar, but I'm also fighting a system. I'm fighting Classic Fight Team,
Right.
like
Right.
that feels kind of cool to just challenge yourself against different coaches and different minds in the fight game.
I will say, I mean, that is pretty cool, right? Because I mean, I'm thankful that, I just so happen to have started the business in Southern California
Yes,
and
sir.
now in South Florida. So it's like I have access to these crazy gyms,
Yeah,
that, they just happen to be,
it's
we just
incredible,
happen to have some of the best gyms in the world in these locations.
right?
So
Yeah, you get to spend a lot of time at Florida Kickboxing Academy with Asa, and man, that's an incredible. He's incredible. That's
yeah,
one of my
yeah,
heroes.
dude. And he puts like 5 or 6 guys on a card on
I've
these
seen him
Florida
do that
shows.
and has like his wife's
Yeah,
working the
yeah.
show, and just like yeah, it's really incredible to see.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're excellent people, man. So Aaron, man, yeah, I mean, we're hoping to have you back. It's looking like, hopefully we'll have you back on September 7th. I mean, does that sound about right? Are we going to be
Now,
lucky enough to get you back in there?
yeah, no, if you guys if there's a fight for me, you'll 100% see me. I want to stay as active as I can. Like I told you when we talked before, I was like I want to win this title so that I can continue to be active. And not only
Yeah.
active but active in 5-round fights where I get to show you guys the championship rounds and the hot water show.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, July 3rd, tickets to Fighters Rep 25 and 26
Get your tickets.
go on sale. Fighters Rep 25 is on September 7th at the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles, California. We'll get to see Hot Water versus Edgar Fraga.
Yes, sir.
And on September 21st, we return to Pompano Beach, Florida, in South Florida for Fighters Rep 26. So you'll be able to get your tickets at FightersRep.com on July 3rd. That's when the tickets go on sale. And of course, Aaron, if they can't make it in person, which they should be able to,
It should
but
be.
they can watch our beautiful TV quality live stream from the comfort of their
No,
home or their
that
phone or
actually
their
is
tablet.
something that's big, right? It's like because not only do you guys do a stream, but you do it on a service that people have actually heard of, right? People know what YouTube is, like it's like you hear these streams, they'll take you to some third party boot. Like, what the hell am I watching right
I
now?
know, I
So,
know, I know.
I've never had an issue with people back home being able to watch me, which is important to me because I'm from Vegas. I want people to be able to watch. So like
Right.
that footage just disappears sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, Aaron, but I try to make everything as easy and efficient as possible for everybody,
That's
uh, especially the fighters, especially the fighters.
big.
And I chose YouTube because it's a place where we can upload content like like this interview right here, documentaries about you guys for free. And I said, well, it's a way to also generate a little bit of money on YouTube.
Yeah.
What we do is we air the fights live. It's just $9.99 a month. People could cancel anytime, so they could just pay the $9.99,
That's
cancel.
half the price of every other stream.
Right, right. And then they can cancel right away, or they could stay on and continue to support. It's all kind of getting reinvested right back into the
Back.
show to build a platform for you guys. But yeah, I mean, YouTube is great because, even afterwards, then we just upload all your fights for free for everybody to watch in
Like
the following week.
me, the fighter. I'm pulling up my live stream on the drive back to Vegas that night, watching my fight, which a lot
Right,
of promotions I can't do. Like they'll be like,
right.
"Yeah, we'll get you the footage when we can," or I'll have to. The family friends will send me some stuff, but I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm like, I'm a fighter, and I'm like, most of the time, like, it's hard to get footage of me fighting. Like, it's crazy.
it's weird and it's stupid as a promoter. You know, you should make the footage very accessible to the fighter. I mean, so they can study themselves, so they can
Right.
share it and promote themselves with
Yeah,
their friends and family, you know?
absolutely. And then you know, like when you guys take care of us like that, it makes us, you know, like it makes everyone want to be like when they repost a picture like at FightersRep, you know, can't wait
Yeah.
to get back at FightersRep. You know, it
Yep.
makes people like we're
Yep.
excited to fight for you guys because you treat us right, you know, and you
I appreciate it.
give us a lot more than most of these shows. So
I appreciate, you know, and I encourage you guys, this is just all of you guys know, I encourage you guys to use the footage, repost the footage. You know, sometimes it's cool to use your, you know, your grandma's cell phone footage that she got from the audience, but, you know, feel free to reuse our footage. You know, I just ask that you tag us, you know, but feel free to use it to promote yourself, to promote the promotion, to grow your brand. That's what it's there for. You know, I pay for the copyright of the footage and of the pictures so that you guys can use it. You know, it's for you guys. So
beautiful. It's so like the fighter, like, you know, the I capture violence. He always has our pictures up, and you know, I literally the next day, and and they're always awesome pictures. You know, like one of the pictures, like my profile picture now. You know, so it's like
yeah.
the
That's kind of a demented goal of mine, by the way, because Curtis is so talented. So one of my goals is to make sure that everybody who ever fights for us likes their pictures so much they use it as their profile picture. You know what I mean?
He was telling me that too, because I sent him a message. I was like, hey, Curtis, I just wanted to let you know, I'm like, these pictures are awesome. Like, you always do great. I'm like, but this is my new profile picture. He goes, that's a goal of mine. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So Isaac Bakary says, George, you got so much talent out here in Vegas, man. Let's get an end of the year show in Vegas. Hopefully we can make that happen at some point. Aaron, are you still there? Your picture kind of froze up, brother. All right, looks like we're losing Aaron for a second here. While he, you know, straightens out his situation and hopefully gets back soon. I want to remind you guys, subscribe to the channel, join the channel. That's how you help this channel grow and help me continue to support these fighters and this promotion. It's just joining the channel. It's just $9.99 a month. I'm not asking for a lot here. Help me out so I don't have to continue to work a full-time job while also doing this for these fighters. You know, get your tickets on July 3rd to FightersRep. Aaron, that's, you know, I don't have too much more for you. I've kept you for over 42 minutes now, but you know, the floor is yours, man. I mean, is there anything you want to say? Anyone you want to thank? Anyone you want to shout out? It's all you, brother. It's all you, champ.
Thank you, sir. So I think the biggest thing for me, I want to say thank you to, you know, you and Hung for sure for getting me out here multiple times. That's big for me. I want to thank all my Vegas and my California supporters. You know, I have people from LA gyms and stuff coming out to watch me, friends and family in LA, friends and family making the drive from Vegas. That's huge for me. You know, the community I've built, you know, making friends with, you know, guys like Isaac and the guys from Syndicate. You know, I've been, you know, like we're both from Vegas. I'm like, I'm gonna support you, you know, so we're kind of on that team. Always want to thank my coach, you know, Jason's my biggest motivator for my life, not just my Muay Thai, but he's my mentor, you know, helps me with my mind, you know, everything is all inclusive for fighting. And then I'd say the last thing is, you know, I'm just really excited, and I hope Edgar trains real hard and is ready for the hot water show on what was it, September 6th?
September 7th.
September 7th, Edgar gets to, we're going to have the hot water show, and we get to put on a show for the fans and give everyone what they want. So I'm excited for that.
Well, we're excited. We can't wait to see you again, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation. Give Aaron a follow at Aaron Fausett 231 on Instagram. We hope to have him back. And champ, congratulations, man. We're very proud of you. We're proud to promote a guy like you. You're an absolute beast. And we look forward to seeing you soon, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, brother. You have an amazing night.
Thank you. You too, man.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good one.